Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today we're going to be talking about this little fella, the Gripcon by, you can't see her because the light's in the way, Nexigo? Yeah, Nexigo. So this is the Gripcon on the front here. This is essentially a better way, or what I think is a better way of playing your Switch in handheld. Now, I didn't go for the galaxy colours, though that does look kind of nice. What I've got, and it's kind of hard to see there, but is the see-through one, the clear ice. There's a couple of other designs on there for you. And, we don't need to look at the box. I've got it right here in my hands. This is the Nexigo Gripcon, the clear one. I'm not sure if there's different models of these things. This is just the model I've got. It doesn't have a model number on the box, I don't think. But it's for the Switch and Switch OLED. Comes with auto turbo function, programmable back buttons, accurate motion controls, dual motor vibration. Now I haven't tried out the motion controls actually. So this thing. So you may know that I am not the biggest fan of playing my Switch in handheld. I do happen to have my Switch here. I'm not the biggest fan of playing this thing in handheld. Ooh. Got some interesting colour going on there. Why is that being coloured out? Oh, you guys get to see almost green screened. That's meant to be bright green. But essentially, I have my Switch there, and I don't really not the biggest fan of Joy-Con. However, something like this, where the buttons and the way to hold the buttons are significantly more comfortable holding them, that is something that I am all for. So, I wanted one of these for a little while, and I got it over Christmas, and so I've been using it. And what I like about this one specifically, this particular model, is I have some of the Hori Split Pad Pros, which essentially are these end bits of the controller, and they just slot onto your regular Switch and act as like bigger, faster Joy-Cons. I think they are really good. I would recommend them anyway, instead of these little dinky little things. But what I like about this is this back plate here. So the back plate it's a little bit bendy, but essentially you have like this soft sort of felt material here. With the USB-C that you plug the Switch into, and it might be, you can see on the back that there's like a bit of plastic across the back of that. So some of them only have this bit of plastic and don't have this full-on like grip, and that's usually for people for ones that just are more like a grip. But this has a few extra features to it. So what I like about this is all the weight, by the way, when you put the Switch in there, all the weight is in the middle. So when you're holding it like this, it is a little bit weighty, but it's not on the sides of the controller. It's all here centered. So what's cool about this is it works like a wired Pro controller. So when it plugs into the USB-C, acts like a wired Pro controller, but also lets you charge the bottom of your Switch while playing. So you can just constantly play in handheld mode. So the actual thing, the actual unit, the feel of the thing feels fairly, I wouldn't say super premium. It's quite slippy plastic. There is grip on the back of here. So all this surface here on both sides is grippy, so you can grip it. But the front of it, being the sort of clear plastic, is very, it's not cheap, but doesn't feel like premium. It's not going to feel super premium like that. The whole thing itself feels decent. I'm not going to say, again, I'm not going to say it feels amazing, because as it is, it's just a bit of plastic with some buttons on it, right? But it has a little bit of that bend to it. It does feel fairly good. We've got bigger, faster controls for people like me that like something, which is more substantial than a Joy-Con. Right, let's pop the Switch in here so I can kind of talk about the machine itself. Fits in fairly nicely. Like I said, works like a Pro controller, essentially. So we slip the Switch in like this. Nice, has that grip to it. Plugs in like that. And now we have our Switch inside of it. Now, like I said, that weight is primarily in the back plate here. This is why it's reinforced, I would imagine, and the center there, and it feels really good holding this in my hand. Like, honestly, I don't see any other way of playing my Switch in handheld. It also looks, look at that, it looks super nice, doesn't it? The Switch in there and everything, you can see the reflection of the camera, but it looks super nice, like with the see-through. I'm a big fan of see-through stuff, so I like that. But, obviously, it's all very well and good, this thing being what it is. How good is the buttons? How good is the whole thing in general? So I'm just going to pop the Switch out a minute, because I don't want to blind everyone with the RGB, which we will get to. It does have RGB. So let's talk about the analog sticks. First of all, very clicky. As he says, smacking that. Very, very clicky analog sticks. If you like that tactile feel, you're going to feel them. Very nice. As for the actual sticks themselves, a little bit on the looser side. This one feels slightly tighter, but, you know, pops back to the center nicely. This one feels slightly looser, but they're not bad. Like, I do like them. Compared to, like, something like the Joy-Con, like, I mean, these are these are what they are. These do feel like a sort of like a PowerA or a PDP. That's the kind of feel I got from them. They're quite chunky, they're quite grippy around the edge. They're a nice size, they click in decent. You're not going to have any issues with them, basically. I don't think they're as good as like the 8-bit Doe sort of analog sticks, but they are good. Decent what they are. D-pad is a one. It's kind of probably hard to see, but it's like one of those raised ones. It's not terrible. I don't know if I'd want to play like something like a fighting game on this. I just don't think it'd be particularly good. But, you know, for most other games where they have some controls on the D-pad, it's pretty decent. It's not my favourite type. I like a bigger D-pad, a bit chunkier, and a bit more movement to it. This one isn't particularly... It clicks a lot, but it's not like the best D-pad I've ever seen. Buttons, the ABXY buttons. These are really nice. Nice click to them. They go in a good amount. It's kind of hard to see potentially, but they go in a decent amount. I actually think these are really, really, really good. I think these are really good buttons. I think the weakest part on here is the D-pad, but the analog sticks are more than decent, and so the front. The triggers on the top. So the L and R, so the first ones, very much digital buttons. Don't have a lot of movement to them, but they don't feel awful. They're fairly big as well. However, the two ZL, ZR, these, they have some motion to them, which is good, but I almost wish they went a little bit further, just a little bit further down. But I can't complain too much because they have movement, they have traction to them. They're very much like, they almost feel if they went a bit further on, they'd probably be a bit more analog. But I would say that the top ones, very much buttons. They're pretty decent, and these ones are big enough as well. So, in terms of like the buttons on this thing, for the most part, it's decent. These aren't like the best things. They're not like an 8-bit Doe Pro controller or the Ultimate controller, which is like top tier, like the normal Switch Pro controller. But this is like a PDP. This is like a PowerA, that kind of quality. So it's decent, right? It's not the premium stuff, but it is decent. And it's for what you're going to be using this for, significantly better than a Joy-Con. We also have on here, we have your plus and minus buttons. So there and there, where my fingers currently are. Also very clicky, but plus and minus there. Down the bottom, I see down here, we've got the... Oh yeah, right, we've got the... so the two inner buttons, this one here and this one here. That's your capture and your home button. So that's them there. And then on the outside, on this side here, we've got the turbo button. And over here we have, if I can see it properly, we have the lights for the RGB, which I'll show off in a sec. So all in all, not a bad piece of kit for what it does. I've not used the turbo on it, but I have used the lights. There's also these back buttons. I don't have them programmed currently, but like any other controller that has these are just programmable buttons that you can have. Work absolutely fine. There's also an extra button. You see that there's extra buttons back there. So the top ones are your how to map. Your map, you hit those buttons and you map what you want to these. And underneath it is a feedback. So inside these, your haptic feedback, your motors, whatever it may be. Inside, you can adjust how much of that is, if it vibrates more or less, which is quite a nice feature. So, right, let's turn the thing on. And, you know, obviously I'm not going to be able to show you, like, gameplay per se in this. I will try my best to show something. But what I want to show is when you turn this thing on, might be kind of hard to tell, but you can see there's a light on there now. So if I was to push this button, we get different colors. And you can have full colors, you can change the light mode as well. And I'm a big fan of this. I love RGB stuff. But if I hold the button down, we'll just double tap. Double tap, there we go. So you might be hard to see now, but it basically comes on and off with colour. I think you double tap the. See, I'm a big fan of like stuff like that, but I think if you double tap it, you get the kind of fade effect that's going on with it, which is cool. So you can have that. But we'll leave it on this for now. Actually, you guys can't see the green because I've got the green settings on. We'll leave it on like one of these colours. I'm sure you can have like a mixed colour. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Lovely. Very difficult to see, I can tell. So also I should point out the box comes with a USB-C cable, so you can charge at the bottom of it, along with quick start instructions and a actual manual how to use all the different features, which is cool. So, you know, it's hard to show off a screen with games. I guess maybe if I just pull up like a Game Boy game or something, it's probably not a bad shout. Let's do that. Just to show off something basic, but hopefully I can show you guys. Yeah, but yeah, all in all, like as soon as the Switch is in there, that feel that like it's the right kind of weight. It feels nice to hold. It feels nice to like play something. That'll do. 6 golden coins. Try and show this off. Probably should have started a new file. Right, bear with me. You can hear the beautiful sounds. This will do. Alright. I know it's difficult to see the game. Oh my god, that's like impossible to see. D-pad works. So there's your analog stick. Maybe the Game Boy game wasn't a good idea, but like trying to play platformers, you're probably going to be alright with the D-pad. Seems decent enough, to be honest. Maybe we try and find something that's actually a 3D game. That might be a better way of showing that off. What have I got that's easily accessible? Nothing, but it's going to be ideal right now. But the thing with this is, oops. The thing I found with this product is that this has made me want to play my Switch in 3D, in bed, you know, or in handheld mode, significantly more. There we go. That's the color I like. Those sort of might be hard to see, but it's like a multicolor. I very much appreciate having something that feels much better to hold than a Joy-Con. So that's off with the colours on. I don't know why it does this. Maybe it's just you drawing off of it. But this feels so much better than these things ever will. Like, I get it what these are for, but when I'm playing games, I need something that's a lot bigger to hold for my hands. It's a lot more comfortable to play for extended sessions with something like this. Now, in the past, I've always suggested I really liked the Hori Split Pad Pro. I think that is a really good choice. You don't get the back plate with something like that, but you do get essentially the same sort of similar shape to these big chunky like controllers to hold. If you're thinking about getting a something to play in handheld, now I have two things to recommend. I have one of these Nexigo Gripcons, or something like a Hori Split Pad Pro. Now, to be clear, these sort of things, there's a ton of these on Amazon, for example. There's a ton of companies that sell them. I may get another one in the future to see if the quality's like on something like that. But right now I can only go on the Gripcon that they have made. I think this is a really good product. Let's just take the Switch out of this a second. I do think this is a really good product. I think it is worth. It is £40 to £45 in the UK. I don't know what the regional equivalent of that would be. But if you are someone that does play a lot in handheld, or you're looking to play a lot in handheld, something like this, for the comfort that it is, for what it offers up, is a good shout. Even if you carry this separately to your Switch and you have this in its own separate like box or whatever, I just think this makes playing in handheld mode significantly more fun. I think you're going to have a lot more of a comfortable time. You're going to be able to play for extended times. The buttons themselves are decent. They're not perfect. They're not the high standard premium that you might want from them, but I do think that they're more than suitable for the playing in handheld sessions. I think overall the build quality is decent. Like I said, it does feel a little bit bendy, but once the switch is in there, it ain't moving. And the fact that you can charge it if you want while it's plugged in is awesome. I think the features are decent. The haptic feedback, the rumble is absolutely fine on this. The buttons are decent for it. And all in all, you're going to have a much more comfortable experience using something that's like this, suiting your hands on it, than something like a Joy-Con that is significantly smaller. I mean, look at the size difference, right? Look at the size difference, and this big grip essentially just makes it for better for everyone, right? So that's my recommendation for this. I've yet to buy much for my Switch that I wouldn't recommend. All right, so we've gone over different controllers over the years, and this for me, like, I am not a big handheld player, but playing like a lot of retro stuff. I've been playing like older games and things in bed, you know, half an hour in the morning, half an hour before bed, or sort of thing. This is awesome for that, and it fits comfortable, feels comfortable, and yeah, I recommend it if you're looking for something and you're willing to spend about £40 on these. There are different designs of the Gripcon. On the back here, we've got on the front you can see you've got the Galaxy one. Clear Eye says white. White looks quite nice. There's I think other brands. Nexigo also do some other controllers. I wouldn't mind getting one of their controllers and trying them out and seeing if they're just as good as this product. But for what this is and what it's designed to do, I think this is a really solid product. And if you're looking to play a lot more of in handheld on your Switch, then would recommend something like this. So yeah, there you go. That's my recommendation for the Nexigo. I always get that wrong. Nexigo Gripcon. So thank you very much for watching. As always, if you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content, especially hardware stuff like this, then hit the like button, subscribe as well, and links for Facebook and Twitter will be down below in the description as always. And until next video, I will see you then.